Joining us now is Okpe with stories trending around the world. Janex is here.
Good morning, Dr. Abati.
How are you?
You look great. I'm
Thank you.
excellent. I have not seen that combination in ages. You look excellent.
Thank you.
Tundu Abiola, good morning.
Good morning, darling. I was sticking up for you. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
I
What happened?
right.
I hope it's good.
It's very good.
Okay, very good. Good morning. Rufai, how are you?
Elegant stallion.
Stallion.
No,
we have to talk about that word stallion afterwards.
Stallion, that's
What you call him?
But
Yeah, I did have started familiar.
Okay, let's just discuss this real quick. What is a stallion? What is an elegant stallion?
I've never really understood it.
It does not make any sense.
A stallion is male.
Male. I don't
It's a
understand
male
why they use that to
it
describe.
was used by a reporter with Vanguard to describe her.
And ever
I think
since?
was it Azuka Jebose?
Yeah.
It was at the time, and it got stuck.
But it's completely incorrect.
You know, I thought it was in reference to her strength, and her stardom, her genius. You know, one of our national assets. She turned 70 recently.
Love her. Happy birthday.
belated birthday.
I love the way the conversation switched.
On top of that, you're wearing green. You're elegant stallion.
Again, all right then.
Dr. Abati, National Treasure. Dr. Ruben Abati, National Treasure. Tundu Abiola,
And Rufai Hosseini, the great.
National Treasures.
Good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe. In the United Kingdom, Nazir Ahmed, who was appointed a life peer by former Prime Minister Tony Blair, was found guilty on Wednesday of sexual assault against a young boy and the attempted rape of a girl when he was a teenager in the 1970s. The 64-year-old former lord was said to have committed the sexual assault against the boy in Rotherham and twice attempting to rape the girl in 1973 and 1974. He was charged alongside his two older brothers, Mohammed Farouk and Mohammed Tariq, but both were deemed unfit to stand trial. In Italy, Pope Francis has spoken against the world's childless dog and cat owners. On Wednesday, the pontiff suggested that people who substitute pets for children exhibit a certain selfishness. The Pope also stated that the practice is a denial of fatherhood and motherhood, as it takes away our humanity. In France, President Emmanuel Macron on Wednesday was accused of using divisive vulgar language after he used the slang term to say he wanted to make life difficult for unvaccinated people. The comments come 3 months ahead of a presidential election. Opponents of Macron say his words are unworthy of a president. Under sports, tennis superstar Novak Djokovic's visa to participate in the Australian Open was revoked by authorities on Wednesday, and he was set to be deported after being held up at Melbourne Airport due to a visa error amid a row over his medical exemption from COVID-19 vaccination rules. The 20-time Grand Slam champion, who has repeatedly refused to reveal his coronavirus vaccination status, had confirmed on Tuesday that he had received an exemption to allow him compete in the Australian Open. Finally, under entertainment, the 64th annual Grammy Awards ceremony, scheduled to take place in Los Angeles, California, on January 31st, was postponed on Wednesday due to uncertainty around the Omicron coronavirus variant. A new date for the awards ceremony, which is regarded as music's biggest night, will be announced in the near future. The decision comes after the Sundance Film Festival canceled all in-person events in Utah, citing the rapid spread of Omicron. Well, let's begin what's trending. Human rights lawyer and senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, has kicked against the verdict of the Lagos Department of Public Prosecution on the case against Dowen College in connection with the death of 12-year-old Sylvester Oromoni. In a report released on Wednesday, the Department of Public Prosecution stated that the police investigation and the 2 autopsies conducted on the body of the deceased 12-year-old student failed to establish a prima facie case against the suspect in the murder case. Femi Falana said the report was loaded with medical jargon that failed to address the allegation that the deceased was forced to drink a concoction and tortured for refusing to join an unlawful society. He declared the report inconclusive and challenged the doctors and the Department of Public Prosecution to produce a toxologist report on the substance he was forced to drink. Well, in a video that is now making the rounds on social media, Sylvester's mother broke down in tears in response to the development. Let's take a look.
Nigeria, I'm so happy, and I appreciate the deep love you have for us. The love that you people have for us, I appreciate all. But this battle that is on ground is of the Lord. The God that created the whole universe, we must surely avenge the death of my son, Sylvester Oromoni. For this, the whole world will know that there is God that fights for the oppressed. Jehovah God, arise! King of glory, arise! And let those that cut the life of my son short, cut their life short, O Lord. And those that are supporting them, O Lord, cut their life short. Let them feel the pains that I'm passing through. Let them feel the pains that I'm passing. When they breathe the air, oh God, arise. The God of vengeance, arise. Everlasting living God, arise. Move! Avenge the death of my son, Sylvester Oromoni the Jr. People celebrated New Year, celebrated Christmas. But I did not celebrate New Year. I did not celebrate Christmas. I did not celebrate New Year with my son Ogenenyero.
No, Tundu, I've watched this video 4 times and I cannot stop crying. I can't even speak.
I avoided the video because I knew you were going to share it because it's just too painful. What I have to say about her words is just all right-thinking people say amen.
Amen.
To her prayers. Amen.
Amen.
Because what the crime that was done to that child is so disgusting, so reprehensible, that I feel personally insulted by this attempt to sweep it under the carpet, talking about bacterial blah-de-blah. What on earth is that? What is that? The in loco parentis is a common law doctrine, meaning that in a school, while a student or pupil is on the campus of a school, the school authorities stand in the shoes of that child's parent, and it's usually used in regards to their right to discipline a child. But it's also concomitant with their duty of care towards that child. If they acted as a school in loco parentis, if they behaved as if they were Sylvester's parents, that boy would be alive today. There is no excuse for what happened to that child. And any attempt to sort of shirk responsibility, to abdicate it in any form, is disgusting and should be rejected. I'm seeing, we're now in January, schools have opened or are opening, possibly an attempt to justify a reopening of Dowen College, because the first statement we heard from the school, you recall, after this tragic death of a child of 12 years old, with his whole life ahead of him, a painful death of a child of 12 years old, was Zoom classes will continue. So this is why I'm thinking it's all about, let's quickly get back to business as usual. My goodness, somebody died.
Yeah.
Somebody died in your care. It is wrong.
You're not alone in your sentence, Tundu Abiola, because that's the same thing Femi Falana said as well, and he's the lawyer representing them. He says this is an attempt for them to reopen the school.
Well, first, I mean, this is very touching, you know, seeing a mother lamenting the death of her son. Now, you recall that before now, Mr. Oromoni, the father, all he wanted was justice.
Yes.
And it was on the basis of that that the services of Mr. Femi Falana, SAN, you know, he was engaged to look into this. And now we're being told that after the steps that have been taken, first, the police commissioner for Lagos ordered a probe. Second, the Lagos State government shut down the school. 3, autopsy was conducted by by both, we're told, the Delta State Police Command and the Lagos Police Command. And now we understand that the autopsy report has been released. Before now, we were told that 5 students who were said to have been involved in the death of Sylvester Oromoni Jr. were arrested, but they've been granted bail. Yeah. And now we have, Mr. Femi Falana SCN saying there is an attempt at a cover-up. We hope that that is not the case. What Mr. Falana has done basically is to query the autopsy report that is out there, according to him. He says it's full of medical jargon and that specific allegations were not referred to. That where is the toxicology's report, which is asking for. He says because there's no place in either Lagos or Delta State where you can investigate toxic, poisonous substances, and that toxicology report is what he and his team will ask for when the DPP will be summoned to come and defend the autopsy report before the coroner. So in other words, we're hoping that this will be resolved. And I think the Lagos State government denies having asked the school to reopen. Well, whatever it is, I think the Lagos State government should put out a very clear statement, with regard to what the situation is. Otherwise, the narrative that will go out there is that there is an attempt at cover-up.
Fire, your analysis on this topic, which is so disturbing.
I am sad. I am shocked. And these are things that make you lose faith in our system. I hear all deaths must go to a coroner.
Not all deaths. The ones that are doubtful, if there is a doubt, then you ask for a coroner's inquest.
So I think this should go to a coroner's inquest. And we should have an expansive toxicology report. Because initially, the father said, the report from the doctor said the liver was swollen. So it was a toxic substance the boy took. And I think the bone of contention here is, how did the toxic substance get into the boy's mouth? People put it in there, witness accounts. And apart from that, he was beaten. So this should also be merged with the report of the doctor that tried giving care in the last days of Sylvester Oromoni, that said his liver was swollen. The liver, with my basic science knowledge, is the organ in the body that removes toxins. It cleanses, purifies. So if that organ, which is the biggest organ in the body that removes toxins, was affected so much that it was damaged and it was swollen, then the poison the boy took, I'm sure, is deadlier than hemlock. So something has to be done as regards that. And there's also been a counter message coming out that this report was a leaked story by a journalist. I don't buy all of that. I don't buy all of that. Because when you see smoke, look for the fire. And like Tundu said, all of these are an attempt to open school. So it's profit over the life of Sylvester. And that shows you who we are in this country. We don't care about the lives of people. And it's about high-handedness. Some people have the power, so they can manipulate things at the background. Oh, what if Sylvester was the son of a person high up there? Would this be his lot? We can't do this. And please, Sylvester, please, I call on you. Don't rest. Avenge your deaths. Don't sleep, Sylvester. Anybody that was part of this, Sylvester, please. I know you should be resting in peace, but I call on you, avenge your death.
That's hard to swallow. Really, really hard to swallow. A 12-year-old boy just gone. Well, I will say, may his soul rest in peace. And our heart continues to go out to his family. We shall take another story. On Wednesday, Southwest governors condemned the alleged role played by the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, in the deployment of police officers to Magodo Estate in a bid to enforce a Supreme Court verdict. The governor's comment came on the heels of a face-off between the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and the Chief Superintendent of Police, Abimbola Oyewole. In a statement, the Attorney General's media aide, Umar Gwandu, stated that the Office of the Attorney General takes exception to the Southwest Governor's unjustifiable insinuation of impunity against Abubakar Malami in executing a judgment of the Supreme Court, adding that they will appreciate if a coalition of the governors will help unravel the circumstances preventing the Lagos state government from enforcing the court order, despite several attempts from 2012 to 2015, noting that some of the cardinal pillars of a democratic government are the doctrine of separation of powers and obedience to the rule of law, inclusive of court orders. Well, I believe Umar Gwandu made some good points, in terms of enforcing the order. But like everyone on social media is saying, this is all political because there are obviously, interest in the whole matter. The Lagos state government has interest in the matter. The attorney generals, the judges that probably have, property there as well. But I think that this case will continue to unravel as we know what's happening. I believe that the Lagos state government has also looked into the case at this point. Tundu Abiola.
Yeah, there's been an update on action going forward. You recall that there was a meeting yesterday at 11 a.m. and we had a guest discussing this earlier today. What needs to be said? I think the issue about it is enforcement of court judgments, which is really one of the reasons why Nigeria's ease of doing business rating remains quite low. It's an issue in this country. So what is amusing and what tends to raise one's eyebrow is that all of a sudden the Attorney General is really alive to that responsibility. It's quite entertaining, but it's okay, it's fine. But it's really the manner of execution. The manner of execution does seem high-handed. Of course there's separation of powers. Of course Supreme Court judgment should be sacrosanct. But the Supreme Court talked about allocation and reallocation of 549 plots. Preferential allocation, did not mention possession. And that if the Supreme Court, in their wisdom, did not mention possession, it should not be inferred. And what the Supreme Court was trying to prevent, I imagine, is a situation whereby people who innocently acquired their land and built their homes are not locked out, which is what we saw happening. People came to their gates and their gates had been locked. What will then happen is that there'll be a breakdown of law and order. Those who know what it is to build a house, the blood, sweat, and tears you put in there. Somebody's just going to show up and lock your gate. Of course, that's not going to be allowed. So I really wish that in trying to enforce the judgment, which is the role of the Attorney General, it had been done in the manner suggested by the Southern Governor's communique of 5th of July, where they are informed when security operatives are coming. It's also in that same Supreme Court judgment, there was a reference to the fact that Lagos State government had made attempts to offer land to the aggrieved Shangisha Association. That land was not to their liking, and they have that right to refuse the land. It has to be to their liking. So I think they need to go back to the drawing board and ensure that both sides are happy and real justice is served here. It does not serve justice for people to be turfed out of the homes that they have built, and for probably Shangisha Association to demolish the home. Who does that serve? If there's no space in the whole of Lagos State that is acceptable as a block of 549 plots of land, could it be split up? Could some people accept land here, there, just to make sure everybody walks away from this happy? It's possible.
Rufai, your analysis on this.
So in all of this, it has shown the kind of society we have. The question is, how did this man even get access to the Attorney General in the first place? Because they're highly connected. Yes. My question is, can a common man, do you know how many lands that Oromoni has collected from common men that court has even ruled in their favor, but Oromoni still stays on that land and say, if you come here, you die? How many people get the chance to get the Attorney General to effect that? We're a society that have laws, but we're very lawless at the same time. And that's why this happened in the first place. And increasingly, I keep asking, what is the national ethos of Nigeria? What is it, really? Are we a country that truly cares and respects the laws? Because it is obvious, it's about who you know in all of this. So, like Tundu said, the Attorney General, all of a sudden, has risen to his responsibilities. But there are litanies. There's a litany of court cases where you expect the Attorney General to act. He wouldn't act. So many cases like that. This is my Attorney General. Remember when we had the debates about moving around? Was vigorously defending the right of cattle. We all remember this. We will never forget. But coming back to this matter, it just goes a long way to show the society we've built for ourselves. So you see, the Attorney General spokesman can write a letter in response by saying the state governors have no right to do that and all of that.
Yeah.
But let's not lose the conversation the governors are saying here. It's that conversation about separation of powers. Just maybe, when we start having that, then we can keep ourselves in check. I know we'll not be perfect. It's a work in progress for Nigeria. But we must build a society that gives that level of equity.
Well said, Rufai. Dr. Bati.
Well, I think Inibe Fionga, I guess, made some of the major points. One, that what the Attorney General of the Federation, whatever role he may have played, is in order. Is in line with his mandate under both sections 150 and 174 of the Constitution. But his concern is that, look, the Attorney General is selective. Why is he so hyperactive over Magodo Phase 2 land that is so far away? That's one. The second point he made also is the manner of the intervention of the Nigeria police. He quoted the Sheriffs and Bailiffs Act, that in this particular instance, it's the responsibility of the sheriffs, the bailiffs, to enforce the ruling of a court. But there was no bailiff there. It was just the Nigerian police that went there. So definitely there are questions to be raised. The other issue is, why is it that this matter has gone on for so long, since 2000 and since 1984, 1988, 2012, 2016, and no attempt has been made to enforce it? And why is it now that the affected judgment creditor is seeking to enforce the judgment of court through what appears like a resort to serve-help? And he made a point about indications of impunity. So I think, we can agree with him on all of those points. As for the governors who intervened, the Southwest governors, in a statement signed by Governor Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State, yes, the point is well made that, look, governors are helpless. A situation whereby foreign elements will just show up in the jurisdiction of a particular governor and they will not know what's going on, and they will have to be asking for explanations. Indeed, it raises the point again, as the governors pointed out, about federalism, about the need for state police. It was in the course of that statement that they now attacked, Malami, the AGF, whose media assistant has now responded. But there was one point that they made there in their last paragraph. The Southwest governors are asking the president to personally intervene and rein in certain elements, within his government who just try to do whatever they like. But I think that, what we should now focus on is the effort of the Lagos State government. A committee has been set up to interface with the judgment creditors and to see how this problem can be resolved. And we can only just hope that some of the proposals that have been put forward by the Lagos State government will be actionable proposals, get compensatory plots of land, maybe relocate, or, the judgment creditors, give them plots of land in other places if land is not available in Shagisha. And one other recommendation that came out of the meeting yesterday is that the police should exercise restraint.
This is my point.
And I hope that the Inspector General of Police, will be well advised in that regard, why the judgment creditors and the judgment debtors try to find a solution to this. And again, I join others who attended the meeting, who commended the governor, because as you pointed out earlier, there could have been pure anarchy, there could have been chaos, because those landlords in Magodo Phase 2, if I saw some of them that I knew, I didn't know that some of these people, when they are challenged like that, there is some kind of, energy within them. I don't want to mention anybody's name, but I saw one of our colleagues. He was the one going, I said, this man, he will make a good able-bodied person during the political season.
Can I just say, he commended the governor. I think we can stay on the story because we won't have time to take our final story.
No, you don't believe me. I'm not making it.
Wait, I wanted to say something.
I saw this guy. He was bouncing.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yes, and I said, well, he's fighting for his...
it's his home.
Yes.
Well, I wanted to say something that came out of this whole saga in commending the governor. People started comparing Governor Wike and Lagos State Governor Sanwo-Olu.
That's Reno Omokri.
Yes.
You are
Well, it
quoting
wasn't
Omokri.
just Reno. It was
Okay.
all over social media. You know, I'm the social media queen.
You are.
That's a
What
good one.
was the comparison?
So they were saying that if it was Governor Wike that was at that particular location and trying to have the CSP make a phone call and he'd refuse, that the Governor Wike would be so furious and probably would lock him up, and he's more high-handed than Governor
I'm glad
Sanwo-Olu.
about the way Governor
It
Sanwo-Olu
was so
handled
funny
it.
though. Yes, commending the
it was
governor. He
good.
did very well, really, really well. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for your
Thank
great
you very much, Ojinika.
All right,
We look
then.
forward to seeing you tomorrow.